Hello friends, Tommy with Studio Sense here, hopefully interrupting your day or your morning in a positive way because we're going to be talking about fragrances that will save you a load of money and smell like you spent a lot more than you actually did. The colognes we're going to be talking about today have a precedent set for them. In other words, they're very well known, or at least these designers are very well known for making really good quality fragrances. Now sometimes over the years they have created some misses, but they have more hits on their scorecard than they do misses. And so that's what I look at as a reviewer to make recommendations to you guys. So we've got that plus a full bottle giveaway contest coming up at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that and more. Welcome back everyone. I hope this video finds everyone doing fantastic and having a great day so far. But if not, I hope the following makes your day even better. So we're going to be talking about fragrances today that are going to save you a lot of money and yet smell fantastic, smell like you've spent a lot more than you actually will on these very affordable fragrances. It's a relatively short list. There are only 8 fragrances we're going to go over. I don't anticipate it taking a long time. So if you just have a few minutes out of your day that you can spend with me, I really appreciate that and I hope it'll benefit you. The first fragrance is from a designer that has been a little bit quiet lately. They've not really produced a ton in the past, we'll say, year or so, maybe just a couple that were noteworthy, and it's from the Diesel brand, and it is Only the Brave Street. Remember the 5th line of fragrances? This is one of those, what's commonly referred to as OTB. Only the Brave Street is one of those spicy cold weather fragrances that will put you in mind of more popular fragrances like Armani Code Absolute, which is discontinued. So if you really liked Armani Code Absolute, there are facets of OTB Street that you'll really enjoy. Bergamot, apple, basil, licorice, vanilla, and even some marine notes make this a captivating scent that's not only a great cold weather fragrance, but it's also a very effective transitional fragrance as we're moving from warmer weather into cooler weather. All of these fragrances are going to come in under $60. Most of them will be under $40, and some of them will be under $30 and $20. So there's kind of a cornucopia of price ranges, but I do want to let you know nothing above $58. I think $58 is the highest priced fragrance in this video. So be prepared to smell great and spend very little money. Next up is a warm, spicy, sweet, near gourmand kind of fragrance that you've never heard of before. It's from the brand Joseph Abboud, which I had never heard of before prior to this one, and it is Terrain. Very heavy bottle. It's one of those fragrances where the lid kind of slides on. There's no click, but it holds it in place pretty decently. The bottle is really cool. There's like a gradient going on here. And the smell of this fragrance is very similar to Stronger With You. If you like Stronger With You, you're gonna enjoy this fragrance. It's got a very fruity, syrupy, sweet opening, and it dries down into a very woody, vanillic kind of fragrance that's really enjoyable to wear as an EDP. While I was able to find a coffret of Joseph Abboud fragrances, that is various fragrances together in a sample box, I wasn't actually able to find this at a discounter online. I purchased this at, I believe, TJ Maxx for $15, incredibly cheap for a really great smelling fragrance. Now where you're going to take a hit with this is in its performance, but hey, for $15, spray it on again and again. You don't have to really worry about it that much, and it lasts long enough. I'll put it that way. It lasts long enough. Now the notes listing is actually on the pretty cool box that it comes in. It says the top is bergamot, vetiver, and mint. The mid is black pepper, patchouli, and ambergris, and the base is cedarwood, oud, and musk. That's kind of an unusual mix to end up smelling like Stronger With You, but again, it's reminiscent of that. It is not a note for note clone of Stronger With You, but I think it was inspired by, at least that's the direction that it's going, and it's very inexpensive. Joseph Abboud's Terrain. Next up is an actual gourmand fragrance, so one of my favorite inexpensive gourmand fragrances out of this line by far. Came out in 2016, is still around to purchase. It's by Salvatore Ferragamo, and it's the titular Uomo from the Uomo line. Uomo is a fantastic tiramisu-like sweet fragrance. Now this is kind of an overabundance of sweet in the open. It's very syrupy sweet, tacky sweet. That does dry down a bit, but it is part of the overall scent profile. And so if you don't like sweet fragrances, stay away from this. You know, I'm just gonna go ahead and warm you. I'm just gonna go warm. Yeah, I'm gonna warm you. because it's warm, spicy. I'm going to warn you about that because it is a very sweet fragrance. I love the smell of it though. It's got a very dessert-like presence with orange blossom and tiramisu in the heart, a little bit of ambergris to promote those two notes. Also some cozy notes like cashmere, a tonka bean, a sandalwood in the base. That's the trifecta that's in the base that rounds this fragrance out. And guys, you will love wearing this in the cooler weather. It's one of the perfect autumnal kind of fragrances. It's a near 10 out of 10 in my book in terms of cost versus the smell, aroma. Very inexpensive. You can get it for under 45 bucks at most discounters. Next up in my relatively short list of 8 fragrances that will have you smelling fantastic, spicy, warm, and attractive, and yet you'll spend very little money, is one that was launched in 1999, believe it or not, and it's still very popular. Actually, it's more popular today than it was in its early years, and that is Givenchy Pie. Givenchy Pie is just a unique looking fragrance as well as a unique smelling one. Intriguing name, intriguing overall scent profile. This one focuses on some warm resins and woods, a combination of benzoin, pine needle, ironwood, mandarin in the open. It reminds me a little bit of an elegant, powdery, caramelized brown sugar woody experience, and that's basically what it is in a nutshell. It is one of the more unique cool weather fragrances that you'll run into that is a cheapie, and guys, this one is, again, I'll post the price here as well as the links below to check this out. Very enjoyable fragrance, can be worn pretty much anytime in any event in terms of cool weather. Great holiday oriented fragrance as well, and it smells very elegant. You can dress it up as well as dressing down. Givenchy Pie. This next fragrance, I look forward to dusting off the shelf every year and wearing it. It's one of my favorite casual wear tobacco fragrances for fall, mainly. It's a Calvin Klein fragrance that was launched in early 2011. It's CK1 Shock. Yes, everyone who has anything to do with fragrances by now knows about CK1 Shock, but it's easy to forget this guy. And it really is one of those dark horses, not only in the looks, its presentation, but it's a wonderful masculine tobacco fragrance that has great performance, great sillage, and is perfect for the fall weather. This one, guys, you can get for 23 bucks. It's very inexpensive, very well worth owning. It's one of those that I think every guy should own if you like tobacco-oriented fragrances at all. Another great kind of seductive tobacco fragrance for fall that is very inexpensive and yet smells like you spent so much more on it is actually one from the house of Zara in their tobacco collection. It is rich, warm, and addictive, or just rich, warm, addictive. 3 adjectives to describe a fantastic cheapie. Again, everyone who knows anything about fragrance is probably already familiar with this because it's been popularized for a while now, but it's easy to forget. It's in my collection of very inexpensive tobacco fragrances that I dust off the shelf, again, put in my rotation for autumn and fall. And guys, this one, kind of a combination of white peony, honey, tobacco, sweet, subtle, seductive, wonderful fragrance. It actually performs really well for a Zara fragrance, and the price, can't beat it. The next fragrance I want to recommend as smelling like you spent a lot of money on it, yet is very affordable, is probably the highest priced in this list, and unfortunately it is discontinued. There are a few available right now at fragrancenet.com, and I recommend picking one up if you like anything about the description that you're getting ready to hear. It is a Jesus Del Pozo or J. Del Pozo fragrance, Gold Amber Nights. Not only is it a very unique looking flagon, guys, this fragrance smells fantastic. It's got a very niche-like quality and presence about it, and it actually wears like a niche fragrance. The performance is great. Pink pepper, black currant, bergamot, lily of the valley, patchouli, and apple in the heart, resting on cedarwood, musk, and amber. Wonderful, wonderful formula. It's subtle enough to be able to wear at the office and around other people, and yet not so quiet that they're not going to smell you and you're not going to turn heads. Definitely a fragrance that I think anyone who likes autumnal or fall-oriented fragrances that are spicy, warm, and subtly sexy should own. All right, guys, last of the 8 fragrances that I can recommend that if you want to smell like you spent a lot of money on these, smell fantastic, pull compliments, and yet very, very affordable. These are all cheapie gems in my book, is another one from Calvin Klein in the Eternity collection, and it's Eternity for Men Flame. Flame is a very simple, linear fragrance, but it does what it does with a little bit of panache. You're looking at that popularized pineapple note in this fragrance, an infusion of spicy rosemary to add fire to not only the name, but the profile, and quite a bit of warm, dense, heavy, musky labdanum. Similar to other fragrances whose namesake tells you what season to wear it in, Flame is an autumn, fall, fantastic cool weather fragrance. Cheapie. Similar to most in this list, this one can be worn for date nights. It has an effective yet familiar sexy side to it that will work wonders for your date night prospects. It's very easy to like, very easy to wear, and while it is wholly casual, again, it's going to be best utilized, I think, at nighttime in the cool weather autumn and fall on dates. I'm always one for promoting date night fragrances because I think relationships are important to everyone's life. If you can have and use anything that will help subsidize a better experience, then I'm all about that. And that's why date night fragrances, I think, are important. I'm not saying that you have to have a date to wear this fragrance. I'm just saying that if you're looking for a good date night cheapie that you don't want to spend a lot of money on, and yet you want it to be effective as though you did spend money on it, this is a great option. And that's exactly why I'm giving a bottle of it away. So for those of you that have been patiently waiting for the contest rules, here they are, and they're very simple. All you got to do is make sure you're subbed to Studio Sense, make sure you have the notifications on to be notified of new videos, make sure that you like this video, and make sure you comment on this video, because without all of those, I'm not going to be able to pull your data and information in. So I'm going to pick a winner for Eternity for Men Flame in about 5 days. Give you guys enough time to follow through with the contest rules, to make sure you're subbed, like, and comment on the video, and hopefully you'll win a bottle of Eternity for Men Flame, a fantastic date night fragrance or just nighttime cool weather fragrance. Well, guys, that's it for my short list of 8 fragrances that will have you smelling like you spent a ton of money and yet you spent very little on. These are all tried and true. I wear them myself, and they've already been made popular by how well they work. That's why I don't have to talk a ton about them. If any of these that I talked about today are your favorites, let everyone know which one is and why, or if I missed 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 in this list, let everyone know what those are as well. Thanks so much for tuning in today. As always, thank you for your continued support of my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video review.